Our story begins 100 years ago when a giant meteorite struck the continent. Soon after, monstrous insects called the Zerg crawled out from the rock. They multiplied across the world, becoming a deadly threat to everyone. Humanity fought back, but our standard firearms were no match for them. We lost massive territory as the creatures swarmed our cities. Years later, a genius developed a technique called spirit contracts. This allows women to transform into spirits and men to master them. Thanks to this power, humanity defended what little land remained. Fast forward 100 years later to the present day. A crowd gathers around a massive, glowing pink crystal for testing. The test begins as a young woman touches the crystal. The evaluator sighs at her armament, a very weak rank sea sword. She leaves the stage, devastated by such a low-tier result. Meanwhile, our hero Han Jan arrives, clueless about his own potential. He has no idea what's coming as the examiner calls the next candidate. It's Xiaomai's turn, and the redhead walks up with absolute confidence. She touches the crystal, which immediately glows with an intense light. The radiance is so powerful it nearly blinds the young girl. Suddenly, a divine spear appears, leaving the evaluator in total disbelief. Xiaomai just obtained the immortal blood spear, a legendary S-rank weapon. The crowd is stunned. She's instantly become the ultimate partner. With a powerful master, she would be completely invincible in battle. After receiving her gear, she heads straight for her boyfriend Han Jan. Xiaomai coldly breaks up with him, claiming they're on different levels. The poor guy is speechless as she treats him like trash. She turns her back, telling him to forget her name forever. A group of guys starts laughing at his public humiliation. In the past, Han Jan was her perfect and loyal servant. He gave her massages and prepared every single meal himself. A flashback shows her throwing away his lunch and belittling him. Back then, he begged her to stay. Now, bullies surround him. They mock him for losing his queen, saying he's worthless. But Han Jan stands his ground, claiming he might still awaken. He thinks he could even hit S-rank, or perhaps higher. Xiaomai just laughs in his face. You, a high-rank master? Never. Finally, it's his turn. He walks slowly toward the artifact. He touches the crystal. For a second, absolutely nothing happens. The audience falls silent. Then, they start to jeer and mock. But then, boom, a blinding explosion of light erupts on stage. Han Jan awakens SSS-rank Divine Resurrection. Everyone is in total shock. Immediately, the attitude of every woman there changes completely. They throw themselves at him, desperate to be his spirit partner. One blue-haired girl even promises they'll have some real fun. But our protagonist turns away. He's finished with these fake women. They're all superficial. They would only slow his true progress down. All right, let's see. Our lead finally pulls up his status window. The screen reveals. He has got divine talent. Seriously, a list of broken abilities we will see later. But just then, his toxic ex-girlfriend Zia crawls back into the picture. She has actually got the nerve to ask him to do up. Like really, our hero. He just stands there stunned, but then he uses his new eyes to scan this redhead's stats. Meanwhile, she is acting like he is lucky to hold her hand. Talk about delusional. Han Jan, though, he is loving this power. It actually lets him dig up every single hidden detail about Zia's messy contract. No secrets here. Without skipping a beat, he shuts her down. Cold, Han Jan walks off to find a better partner. Later on, we see some mean girls bullying another student. She is gorgeous, sure, but she is only rank E, so these bullies just won't stop. They are mocking her spirit contract, claiming she will flunk out of the academy soon. This is Sayui. She is all alone, totally heartbroken by the nasty things they are saying. She is really doubting her own worth now. It is honestly so hard to watch. Why do people treat her like trash just because of a low rank? Crying, Sayui bolts away and ends up crashing right into our main man. She is about to tumble, but he catches her. Firmly, "Are you all right?" he asks. She nods, safe in his arms. Han Jan decides to check her status window. Wait, his eyes go wide. He finds out that despite being rank E, she is holding one of the 10 strongest pieces of gear in the entire world. Absolute insanity. Sayuri is speechless, but Han Jan just brushes it off like nothing. He gently brushes her hair back, then he drops the big question. Be my partner. He wants her as his official partner. Sayuri turns bright red, totally caught off guard. Meanwhile, those mean girls are absolutely fuming. Why would he pick a loser like her? Even director Chen Pu steps in. He thinks our boy is being way too reckless. He warns him not to make life-changing choices based on just a fleeting feeling. Sayuri is about to back out. She does not want to hold him back, but then someone else storms in, screaming for them to wait. The tension just tripled, guys. This huge, angry guy shows up, shouting for Zio, and yeah, he looks pissed. Talk about an interruption. It is actually the grandfather of that redhead ex, Zia. You remember her, right? The girl who just dumped our hero minutes ago. He is demanding to know why Han Jan used his triple S talent to scare Zia. He grabs Han Jan by the shirt, acting all tough and protective. It is messy. He calls him arrogant for thinking he is better than Zia. This guy is deluded. He goes for a slap, ready to end our hero's career, but someone stops him cold. It is director Chen Pu again. He tells Vice Captain Zio to check his temper. The old man won't budge. He is not leaving until Han Jan signs with Zia. But Han Jan is done with this. He cuts them off right then and there. He declares he is choosing Sayuri, period, no matter what anyone else has to say. He takes Sayuri's hand, ready to make it official. The crowd is absolutely stunned. Sayuri still feels like she is just getting in his way, but Han Jan. He does not hesitate. You are worth it, he says. Then the magic kicks in. Glowing chains wrap around them as he activates his divine perception on her. Sayuri lets out a cry as a massive purple sphere erupts around them. She transforms. Right there, she becomes a legendary golden sword, and the system. All right, check this out. The contract is a success. Look at that floating weapon. Our main character can hardly believe his eyes while staring at the glowing blade. It is official, their bond is triple S level. Talk about an absolute game changer. The entire crowd is left frozen in shock after witnessing such overwhelming power. Seconds later, Sayuri shifts back into a human and lunges forward for a massive hug. She is sobbing with pure relief. Meanwhile, Zia and her grandfather slip away quietly. Young Zia is still fuming, whining about the humiliation she suffered back there. Her grandfather tells her to stay calm and not let the loss get to her. He reveals that he has already prepared a deadly trap for the upcoming evaluation. His goal is simple: get rid of Han Jan once and for all. Talk about ruthless. The old man then asks how she plans to pay him back for this. Thrilled, Zia hugs him and invites him over for a night of video games. The grandfather agrees with a serious face, promising it will be a good night. Later that night, the media is buzzing with reports about the recent student awakenings. Everyone has an opinion on Han Jan's case. It is the talk of the town. We see Zio scrolling through the news while staring at his phone screen. He playfully teases the redhead as Zio asks what Han Jan is good at. Her answer is simple: he is perfect at everything. Now that is confidence. The day finally ends with Zia Mei collapsing onto her bed, completely drained of energy. Next morning at the cafeteria, Han Jan is getting served a fresh plate of food. He is having a peaceful lunch with his partner, but the atmosphere is tense. Everyone is whispering about how unbalanced they are, one strong and one weak. Zaioi starts apologizing for dragging Han Jan into such a messy and embarrassing situation. But our hero just smiles, telling her to stop apologizing for every little thing. He tells her to just focus on her breakfast for now. If they don't hurry, they will definitely be late for the big evaluation. Suddenly, a voice shouts out to Han Jan, forcing him to turn around and look. It is a guy named Wanglu Mao, and he is clearly looking for a fight. He starts acting like a total show-off, doubting if Han Jan is truly strong. Han Jan does not even blink at the insult, acting like the guy does not exist. He calmly asks who the stranger even is, which clearly hits a nerve. Wanglu Mao introduces himself as Zia Mei's new partner. He is just as arrogant as her. Our hero fires back with a clever pun on his name, making Wanglu furious. Zia, now clinging to her new partner's arm, tells him to ignore Hanjin. She calls our main character a total failure who is about to be kicked out. As they walk away, Wang Lumao makes it clear this is not over yet. Now, the scene shifts to the massive arena where the exams are starting. The announcer shouts that the test is about to begin for everyone present. He explains that they only need to pass one of the many stages today. Even though the stands are not full, the tension in the air is palpable. The evaluator calls out the first pair. It is Xia Mei and Wang Lumao. The redhead and her partner step up to the gate with massive egos. They are fully convinced that this victory is already in the bag for them. A terrifying claw rips through the air as a massive level 7 insect appears. This thing is covered in legs and looks grotesque. You and I are in for it. All right, you and I are jumping right into the heat of battle as the young man transforms into a gleaming spear as Wang Lumao faces down the beast. Then the monster strikes. It is a violent lunge, but he barely dodges, instantly prepping a sharp counterattack. Wang Lumao strikes with massive force. The sharp edge of that spear's blade starts to bite into the creature, but it just cannot break through that thick armor shell. The young man leaps high into the air, determined to strike again. With pure fury, he charges straight ahead and successfully pierces right through the monster's body. The beast lets out a deafening roar of agony. That strike left a massive hole in the creature's chest. The crowd erupts, praising that incredible S-rank skill. They are shocked they could actually shatter the insect's iron-hard shell. Then, from a television screen, we see the monster lying dead on the dirt, finally defeated by the duo. Away from the cheering crowd, a group of organizers watches from a private, high-tech room. They are analyzing every move of the students' performance. Wei Qing, the head of the first district, points out that the pair actually fought quite poorly. Struggling against a weak monster, the result is just disappointing. Suddenly, Weikling takes a sharp blow to the head from none other than Master Li for talking trash and ignoring direct orders. Meanwhile, the leader of the second district, Lin Jingxuan, starts breaking down the battle in detail. He explains that the duo really should have ended the fight with a single blow. He notices their spirit contract is totally messy, which is clearly holding them back. It is a huge disadvantage during combat. Down in the arena, the announcer shouts that the pair has cleared the stage, breaking an all-time school record. They have actually reached level 6 in the academy. But in the stands, the audience is trashing Han Jan for rejecting that S-level redhead from before. Her stats would have made her way more powerful than Ziyui could ever be. Then, the evaluator steps up and calls the next pair of students to enter the arena. And that's our hero and his partner. They find themselves standing before a massive gate, but our main character suddenly senses something is off in the air. The moment they step out, 10 giant level 1 monsters spawn to crush them at once. Our hero is stunned. This many enemies for a simple test? It is crazy. This was supposed to be a low-rank exam. Some random guys in the stands start mocking him, calling him arrogant for picking such a low-level partner. The announcer claims the difficulty scales based on the students' actual rankings. But you and I know that's a total lie. It turns out, the redhead's grandfather actually bribed the announcer to rig the whole thing. He wants Han Jan to fail miserably right in front of the entire school. The announcer thinks to himself that our hero really should not have been so cocky. He offended the wrong person yesterday, and now it is time to pay the price. The battle begins as the monsters charge forward with savage, bloodthirsty intent. They are closing in fast. Then, in the absolute chaos of the fight, the girl transforms into a radiant golden sword, leaking an insane amount of energy. Our hero wields the blade like a god. In one swift, blindingly fast motion, he obliterates all 10 monsters at once. The people in the stands are watching in total shock. They cannot believe a girl who is only rank E could do that. Even the organizers are stunned. Stick with me, because this is just starting. Everyone's jaws hit the floor. This duo is on a completely different level than expected. The leader is stunned. These two are rewriting every record he knows. He notes that they cleared the floor in 1 second, while he once took 30. Lin Jingyuan sighs. Even with our hero's power, these test rules just aren't cutting it. A brute claims the difficulty jump was to push their true talent. He says they can't let potential go to waste, but inside, he's baffled. Even he can't wrap his head around what he saw in that arena. He stares, wondering how this is possible. Maybe 20 monsters will finally be enough. He thinks that number is the only thing that might actually pose a threat. Whacking nods. Cranking up the pressure is only fair given what he endured before. He remembers those brutal training days and thinks it's time these two got a taste. The elder in the room agrees. He's curious to see where their limits lie. He wants to see if their resolve is as sharp as the swords they carry. To push them, the organizers unleash 20 monsters into the arena all at once. Our hero stretches, humming a song and joking about finding his soulmate in the chaos. Suddenly, a massive vortex swirls behind Hanjin, and that golden sword starts to hover. A wave of blue energy surges from them, blasting toward the ceiling above. It strikes every single monster in the area with overwhelming force, leaving nothing standing. Moments later, the creatures fall, completely defeated. Just like that, it's done. Our hero just smirks, asking if that's it. To him, this is light training. The spectators aren't having it. They think this guy is way too arrogant. Weakling is losing his mind again. The sheer results are more than he dreamed. Right then and there, he decides he needs this duo on his squad immediately. But Yaku, the 3rd district leader, steps in. No place for kids, he says. He argues that sending them straight to the battlefield would be a waste of potential. Suddenly, the room breaks into a full-on shouting match over who gets them. Every leader is desperate for reinforcements. They all want Hanjan and Zayui right now. Shenjiki from the 4th district finally speaks up. He thinks they're all wrong. He claims none of those busy districts are the right fit for this talent. Instead, he suggests sending them to explore the ancient ruins in his own territory. The other leaders just glare at the redhead and tell him to shut up. But the old man at the head of the room shuts everyone up. He says that display wasn't enough. He wants to see their absolute limits. The decision is made. They're going straight to the most difficult level available. In the shadows, Zayomi's grandfather watches with a grin. He's clearly loving this. He's eager to see how Hanjan handles the heat once things get serious. Back in the arena, a massive, imposing gate looms right in the center. The corrupt evaluator steps out. He's got a smug look as he announces orders. He confirms that the difficulty is being cranked up to the absolute max by superior command. Difficulty level 3. 10 high-level lizards and 10 thunderbirds are about to spawn. The audience gasps. This is a death sentence for anyone at their age. The crowd is absolutely terrified now. These monsters have perfect teamwork. Surviving this level of chaos is practically impossible for any rookie. But Hanjan, he just smiles. Finally, a challenge that's actually worth it. He's ready to fight for real. All right, you and I see Wonglua scoffing at young Hanjan's arrogance. Suddenly, those monstrous creatures start charging straight for our main character. Together, the Thunderbirds let out a bone-chilling roar. But our hero, he doesn't flinch. Raising his golden sword, he summons spiritual soldiers. They charge ahead, vowing to wipe out every monster in their path. They strike with precision, successfully tearing through those lizards with ease. But things take a turn. The Thunderbirds fire devastating electric rays. The spiritual warriors are obliterated. As rays close in, he charges. He dives straight into the horde, a blazing orange aura erupting. Hanjan leaps toward the beasts, leaving the audience completely speechless. His bravery is off the charts. Everyone is stunned by him. He lands with poetic grace, gripping his magic sword, Zayui, firmly. He's completely surrounded by lizards and thunderbirds. Is it over yet? Hanjan shouts, triggering his rupture formation with a massive shockwave. The impact hurls them away. Suddenly, monsters start falling from the sky. They fall, completely defeated. His monstrous strength is now on full display. Wongluma watches closely, wondering about the boy's hidden potential. Just how much power is still tucked away inside of him? Inside the observation room, you and I see the district leader's disbelief. They cleared them in 2 moves. The old master watches the girl. 2 moves, that's all. The old master in the corner watches in silence. He sees that young Zayui's hidden abilities are being amplified by him. Without a moment's delay, the master calls out for his butler. The man appears instantly, a flash of speed proving his complete loyalty. He asks for his orders. The professor tells him his mission. He must use his talent to discover Han Jan's true power. The butler admits he tried during the trial, but saw nothing. He couldn't read a single thing. The boy was a complete mystery. He suggests this might be just like the case of Ling Zhen. The master is shocked. Could the evaluation crystal have misread the data? Stunned by the news, the master asks if the crystal somehow misread. Was it because of the monstrous power radiating from the young Zayui? It's possible, but Master Shut finds this whole situation very fishy. He decides Ling Zhen and Han Jan must meet as soon as possible. One question still eats at him. He asks for the contract's name. What is the name of the spiritual talent between these two? With a serious face, the butler reveals it is Shenong's tripod. With a grave expression, the butler reveals the name. It's the Shenong tripod. The scene shifts back to the arena with our hero and evaluator. The evaluator asks if he's truly certain about facing the next challenge. Without a second of hesitation, Han Jan agrees. Suddenly, the portal opens. A level 4 horde emerges from the gate, roaring with pure fury. A giant centipede lunges forward, but Han Jan dodges the deadly strike. Immediately after, he starts radiating overwhelming musical power from his sword. Stick with me, this is where the real music finally starts. Let's see it. Our hero absolutely obliterates every single monster in his path. No mercy shown, yet endless waves of beasts keep pouring through that portal. It is non-stop, but Han Jan wants to test his absolute limits. He channels his power into a massive hurricane, spiraling out with deadly force. The storm sweeps everything away. Soon, the dust settles around the young warrior. Victory is his. Now he pushes forward, aiming straight for level 9. Challenges cleared. Carcasses of defeated beasts now litter the ground around our hero. Completely crushed, they stood no chance against the boy's overwhelming, divine power. The evaluator watches, stunned. Han Jan has reached level 9 already. He suggests ending the test here, but our hero has other plans entirely. He wants difficulty level 10. This bold move leaves the evaluator completely speechless. Staring through his glasses, he simply cannot believe what he just heard. Total disbelief. The crowd thinks it is impossible for a newly awakened student. Level 10, that is a difficulty level this academy has never witnessed before. Now let's look over at Wei Qing, the powerful first district leader. He admits that even at his absolute peak, he only reached level 9. Transmissions flash back to the moment Wei Qing achieved that legendary feat. If Han Jan clears round 10, he will smash every record in history. This changes everything. Now, the district leaders are starting to get competitive. Everyone wants this talent. They are ready to fight over this exceptional kid. Lin Jingyuan lowers his glasses. He is finally ready to claim this prize. A heavy purple aura erupts from his body. He is not backing down. He shouts that a brawl might be the only way to settle this. Returning to the arena, we can see the evaluator finally speak up. He will not stop the boy, but warns of the looming danger. Han Jan is exhausted. In this state, winning round 10 seems like a dream. Our hero smiles and asks for just one moment to catch his breath. The rules allow it, but the break cannot last more than 5 minutes. Han Jan interrupts him. He only needs the length of one single song. Suddenly, his body begins to heal at a terrifying, lightning-fast speed. The spectators are floored. They have never seen a recovery quite like this. Everyone realizes the truth now. Han Jan and his sword Zayui are perfectly synced. Different awakening levels, sure, but their chemistry is nothing short of incredible. Meanwhile, in the office, the fight for the duo is heating up. The leaders are practically at each other's throats to recruit these two amazing students. A loud cough echoes from the corner. Someone wants to be noticed. It is Liu Jingchun, representing the 5th district, stepping into the light. He asks why they would send a master healer into the meat grinder. Han Jan has rare energy absorption skills. He is much more than a fighter. The other leaders glare at him. Does the 5th district want him too? Liu nods. This boy could save countless lives on the front lines, he says. But the other 2 masters immediately grab him, shutting that idea down. They both agree on one thing: no way is this kid just healing. A physical fight is about to explode when Professor Lee suddenly steps in. Wait for it, because Professor Lee is about to lay down the law. The master explains that each of the 8 districts already has its own clearly defined responsibilities. For example, the 1st district focuses on direct combat, while the 2nd manages the complex strategy. The 3rd expands territory, and the 4th handles exploration and intel. Next is the 5th district for healing, and the 6th for constant surveillance. The 7th rules the seas, and the final one handles secret operations. Together, these 8 massive and powerful sectors form the pillar of Daxia and keep the world in order. Professor Lee also confesses that he often thought about establishing a 9th district, but never actually followed through. Suddenly, the scene shifts to a monster roaring loudly in the distance through a thick cloud of smoke. This is Zerg, a level 3 beast famously known as the Flaming Beast. Professor Lee explains that if the boy can survive for 3 minutes against that beast, the 10th round will be a success. Suddenly, the Flaming Beast lets out an incredibly powerful, bone-chilling roar. The shockwave sweeps across the arena, sending several nearby bystanders flying. The audience begins to wonder why this young man is standing his ground against such a terrifying and dangerous creature. Right then, we see a cute moment between Han Jan and Zayoi. Our hero asks his sword if it is ready for the fight. Without hesitation, he bravely charges the monster, which is already prepared to crush him, but the Zerg creature reacts instantly. It opens its massive mouth and launches a giant fireball through the air. It flies straight at him, but our hero narrowly avoids it. He agilely tilts his body at the last second, dodging the blow. Right behind him, a massive explosion erupts in the arena. After dodging the fire, Han Jan seizes this tiny opening. He concentrates all his mana into his sword, preparing for a strike. Without wasting time, the young man leaps high into the air. He floats above the ground, shouting to gather his immense power. His power is so intense that the wind even unmasks a pore. Bald man in the audience, blowing his wig right off. Even the girls nearby have to hold on tight against the pressure. With his power fully charged, Han Jan unleashes a concentrated attack. A massive wind attack hits the colossal monster immediately. A gigantic tornado forms, spinning faster and more furiously by the second. The Zerg monster feels the overwhelming force and realizes it is done. It cannot resist for long. Now we see a truly impressive sight. The Zerg is launched high into the air like a rag doll. It spins uncontrollably as the Flaming Beast begins to fall. It lets out a final roar of despair before the end. The giant monster is completely destroyed by the overwhelming wind. Only small debris remains flying through the air. In the audience, bystanders watch in shock, impressed by the young man's absurd power. He completed the insane challenge, leaving the jealous crowd speechless. Redhead Xiaom and her partner Wang, Lu Mao, are looking totally blown away. After that strike, Han Jan realizes the heavy toll this power takes. Pushing his limits like this will definitely wreck his body later on. Suddenly, the virtual world distorts. The battle simulation is officially over. At that exact moment, a mysterious man steps right onto the scene. He is pleased that Han Jan managed to pass the entire challenge. He has advanced to the next stage, but who is this stranger? Han Jan asks who he is, and the man introduces himself very calmly. He is Lin Jin Guan, a very important person in this region. He explains that he is responsible for one of the main districts. Without beating around the bush, he asks a very uncomfortable question. Lin Jin Guan wants to know who will win the coming war. Han Jan says the Zergs might win, but humanity will never lose. He will fight to prevent that disaster no matter what the cost. He just wants a long future of peace and prosperity for everyone. Someone nearby hears this honest answer and starts clapping with real energy. An old man approaches and asks to take the boy as a disciple. Lin introduces the legend as Master Li, the power behind the throne. Our hero immediately recognizes the famous patriarch of the powerful family. This is Liu Tong, the man who leads Daxia's strongest clan. Suddenly, we flash back 100 years to a time of total war. 3 Zerg emperors had united with one goal: destroying all of Daxia. During that war, Liu Tong fought alone and killed those 3 monsters. He saved Daxia from ruin. Now, Han Jan asks if he is serious. Li Shuang affirms it. He really wants Han Jan as his new disciple. Han Jan gives a deep, respectful bow to his new teacher. Training under a living legend, this is a massive, unexpected honor. Out of everyone there, he's the only one who fits the master's taste. Since it is their first meeting, Liu Tong gives him a special gift. It is a unique inventory ring, but the origin story is absolutely wild. This item was forged from the bones of a Zerg emperor. The master warns that the ring carries a deadly, dark aura. Our protagonist has to be incredibly careful with this new gear. It terrifies weak Zergs, but makes high-level ones go absolutely berserk on sight. Basically, they will hunt him with everything they have got now. He does not have to wear it if the risk is too much. But our hero is certain. He accepts the risk and keeps it. The master is happy. His new student is not a total coward. He even shoots a mocking glance at the guy in the glasses. Now, he congratulates both Han Jan and Xiaom for their exam. To celebrate the big win, he invites them out for food. They head straight to a restaurant to enjoy their massive victory. It is a special party for the legend's newest and best disciple. Upon arrival, Liu Tong reveals he invited some very important guests. Looks like the drama is only just beginning for our young hero. Lin Jingyuan helps our duo get to know the city's powerful elite. He formally greets the couple, announcing he runs the 2nd District Battle Zone. Next, you and I learn everyone here is basically a brother in arms. There's Yiku from District 3, and Shenjeki who runs the 4th District. Finally, Liu Jingchun from District 5 joins. Our hero humbly thanks them. But the slick-haired, red-headed leader stops him right there. He says there's no need for thanks because they're all family now. A few others couldn't make it, like the District 6 leader on border patrol. Plus, the 7th District Chief is currently out of the country on business. But right as they're about to discuss the boss of the 8th District, suddenly, out of nowhere, the mysterious 8th leader just blinks into existence. He's running late and can't stay long, but he's got a message. Quickly, he hands over his contact number to our young hero. It is for mortal danger only, but he cautions Han Jan about its use. You only get one opportunity to use this favor. Use it wisely. Just as quickly as he arrived, the man vanishes in a flash. Everyone is stunned by that speed, leaving Han Jan impressed by his personality. At that exact moment, Lin Jingyuan presents him with a massive gift box. Inside are gifts from the brothers, including clothes and powerful secret techniques. It's packed with materials and gear specifically chosen to help the duo grow. Our hero is stoked and gives a sincere thanks for such generosity. But the party mood shatters when a loud, rude woman crashes the place. She's screaming about them eating without her, and Xiao's face just drops. It's her aunt, and she's making a massive, embarrassing public scene right now. The lady rudely claims Xiao usually eats at home and shouldn't be here. She accuses her of running off for fun now that she's awakened her powers. Without letting the girl explain, the woman furiously lunges for a slap. She tries to hit Xiao right in front of everyone. How bold. But before the blow lands, our hero catches her arm mid-air. He's not letting that slide. The aunt yanks back, screaming at him. She tells him to stay out of her business and keep his hands off. The woman yells that Han Jan is just manipulating the girl for her power. She demands money, claiming she spent a fortune raising Xiao all these years. The audacity. Xiao is absolutely fuming at this entire ridiculous and public mess. The girl finally snaps, shouting that enough is enough, she is done. She can't stand another second of this nonsense and lets her aunt hear it. But the old woman doubles down, calling her niece disrespectful and ill-mannered. It's totally ironic, considering she's the one who supposedly raised the girl herself. The old woman rudely screams that the girl has officially crossed the line. She calls her ill-mannered, which is ironic since she raised her. She screams that the uncle from District 4 will be disappointed in her. The lady continues threatening everyone, making a massive scene for the whole restaurant. You and I see the leaders trade confused looks. Who is this uncle? No one seems to know who this District 4 guy she's mentioning could be. Still acting out, the old woman yells, demanding to know who our hero is. He tried holding her arm, but she just pointed a finger at Master Li Shuang, asking with a sneer if he was the rich grandfather paying for the whole bill. The old lady warned that if he wanted the couple, he would need real wealth. She demanded gold, a house, and a car. That was her price, or she'd call relatives. She threatened to bring in family from 3 different districts to settle this right now. Losing all patience with this madness, the old master ordered his leaders to shut her up. The young men acted immediately, making urgent calls to find out how she even got in. They needed to know how security let this crazy woman enter their private districts so easily. The old woman doubled down, claiming she feared no one here. She bragged about her powerful friends, who would come and deal with all of them shortly. But right then, her phone rang loudly, cutting her scandalous outburst short in the restaurant. She answered, only to get hit with a massive, soul-crushing scolding. The person on the other end shouted that their families were done and totally unrelated now. As of today, she was on her own, no more family ties. Master Li flashed a cold smile, asking where those powerful contacts of hers were hiding now. He wanted to see exactly who was going to deal with them today. On the line, Uncle Nu warned her never to involve him in her messy drama again. He told her to leave Han Jan and Xiaoyi alone, as they were under great protection. The shock hit like a truck. Her phone hit the floor along with her entire body. She collapsed in total disbelief, unable to process the words she had just heard over the phone. With no escape left, the restaurant security finally stepped in to end the scene for good. They grabbed her firmly and started dragging the screaming woman out of the fancy premises. She kept acting out on the floor, but Master Li had reached his absolute breaking point. Tired of the shouting, he launched a sudden pressure attack that silenced her in an instant. She could only scream in desperation as she was finally hauled out the door. After the chaos, Xiaoyi apologized to everyone, looking completely crushed by her aunt's behavior. She was visibly embarrassed and saddened, but Master Li Shuang stepped forward to comfort her. He told her that since she had no parents, she had a new family now. It would be Hanjin, his brothers in arms, and her new grandfather, Master Li himself. He officially invited the young woman and our hero to come and live with him instead. Xiaoyi accepted with tears in her eyes, overwhelmed by the sudden kindness she felt. Feeling truly welcomed for once, the heavy atmosphere finally lifted and the group relaxed together. They agreed there was no need for formalities. It was time to finally enjoy their meal. After the commotion died down, the thoughtful master began teaching the couple something very special. He explained how to eat a fancy dish while comparing it to different hunter styles. Our hero wondered what kind of food he would be: slow roasted, cooked, or blanched. The old man just chuckled, saying everyone has their own path to walk in life. This left the boy deep in thought about everything. Suddenly, the old man noticed his delicious food had completely vanished from his plate. Young Xiaoyi had swiped it for her master, Han Jan, which made him very happy. He said their bond would be something incredible if things kept going this way forever. Later, Lin Jingyuan explained that high-level spirit masters can gain unique abilities from their partners. One secret is that contract partners can actually take on 2 completely different forms. They can look human or materialize as a powerful weapon to be used in battle. To show them how, you and I are jumping right into some serious border combat tonight. But Lin Jingyuan drops a spicy truth bomb for everyone. For them to fight separately, their intimate bond must be truly deep. It's all about that contract. When asked why he'd pick an E-rank partner, our hero explains. His special ability can evolve that contract into a triple S-rank powerhouse. The leaders are stunned. An ability this unique, it's unheard of. They have never heard of such a thing. Our hero explains he'd never pick a random partner without a plan. This is about awakening hidden divinity. His old master's reaction is instant: keep this a total secret. Changing the subject, the news drops. Great Shia grew 20%. The Zergs are being pushed back, and the masters are celebrating. The old man is thrilled and raises a glass to victory. Time for a celebratory toast. To a promising future. After the party, old Lee takes the couple to their home. Time to get some rest. Our hero jokes, asking if the old man is finally drunk. But the master just laughs. He's sharp as a tack and sober. Inside, Han-jan is floored. This mansion is pure luxury. He never expected his master to own such a place. Now watch this. The old man's gaze turns completely nostalgic. This is where his late wife lived her whole life. The main character is shocked. He didn't know master was married. He innocently asks if she is home. A shadow falls over the master's face. She's gone. She fell during the legendary Zerg War. History remembers him as the hero, but they've forgotten her sacrifice. Our protagonist feels that sting. He hit a very painful nerve. It's a wound that never healed. The old man's advice: treasure her while she's still here. Shiayui is the literal other half of his very spirit. Softly, the boy asks for the wife's name. As long as it's spoken, she'll never be truly gone. The old man smiles through the pain. Her name was Ling Mei. He took down one monster, but lost her to the others. She is the real hero of Daxia. Without her, they would have been completely wiped out. He tells them to get some sleep. Hours later, the master is alone under the starlight. Just him and his memories. Suddenly, the couple shows up to sit by his side. They caught him completely off guard. You and I can see they're not letting him be alone tonight. This sight reminds the master of himself and his wife when they were young. He says it's time for the boy to begin his training in martial arts. Bajiquin, he explains that this is the only way to get stronger. Suddenly, with a massive roar, Master Li shatters a tree to show his power. He breaks down how the 8 body locks work for the young boy, which are hidden gates that, when opened, unlock the body's full potential. Without hesitation, the protagonist starts mimicking the old man's fluid movements. He flows perfectly, almost as if he had great familiarity with the technique. That same powerful energy begins surging through his body, surprising the master, who never expected the boy to achieve mastery in such a short time. He achieved full mastery in record time, but the training is just starting. Lai Shu Tong decides to show the boy what a real fight is like. He'll practice using the 8 body locks. And then, with impressive speed, Master Liu Tong hammers a punch right into the young man's chest. The boy goes flying. Now our hero is grounded, howling in pain. The old man tells him not to be arrogant. Deep down, he's happy. He's satisfied to finally give a truly valuable lesson to his new apprentice. On the other hand, Han Jan sees the danger and pleads with him. He begs his master not to be so violent in future sessions. The next day at the academy, the duo walks together as young Xiaoyui asks if his face hurts much. The boy says it's been a long time since. He hasn't felt anything like that in a while. But suddenly, in the corridor, they cross paths with a group of bullies led by Wanglu Mao. That arrogant redhead's lapdog starts laughing in the young man's face. He mocks the boy for his arena success and his low-ranked and weak ally. Innocent Xiaoyui is just confused and doesn't understand the insults at all. But our hero explains that the boy is just an idiot seeking attention. The two ignore him and head straight into the director's office. The director looks grave as he gives Han Jan and Xiaoyui some news. They're being sent to the front lines of the conflict to protect the city. He hands over the official written notification and tells them to report. They need to check in at the organization as soon as possible. Hearing this, our hero Han Jan feels a bit uneasy about the order. The director admits the mission is complicated and he tried to stop it. but he had no success changing the decision. It is out of his hands. However, nothing shakes our hero's resolve. He firmly states his choice. He knows this is exactly the path he needs to become truly strong. Leaving the room, the bully barks again, trying to get a reaction. He says strength doesn't matter because there are rules and people above him. Rules that can never be broken, but things are getting tense in the hallway. The group of losers just keeps laughing, mocking the couple without stopping. Han Jan maintains a serious and cold expression while standing his ground. He's already decided that he will soon end this insolent little worm. Then, the bully tries to hit below the belt. He lies, claiming that he spent the whole night with our hero's girl. Redhead Xiom had powered up, challenging our hero to a duel right now. No words were needed. The two instantly clashed in a violent, direct showdown. They didn't care about the rules or the mess they were making. Charging forward, their fists collided with a force that shook the entire corridor. A massive shockwave ripped through the building from that single, thunderous impact. But the bully's arm snapped instantly against Han Jan's overwhelming power. Screaming like a terrified child, the tough guy was suddenly completely broken. The opening was there. Our main character wasn't about to hesitate now. Hanya moved in, ready to deliver another devastating blow to the idiot. He landed a brutal punch straight to the face to end things. The bully Yifan crumpled to the floor, knocked out cold and humiliated. After that well-deserved beating, the duo finally turned to leave the scene. Suddenly, the director burst out, frantically calling for a nurse to help. Ignoring the chaos, our hero went to handle his paperwork at the counter. He told the receptionist he was joining the district's special troop immediately. The request was so sudden and bold it left the clerk completely speechless. But he realized these were the elite students everyone was expecting. The clerk confirmed they were destined for the upcoming deadly battle. Quickly entering their data, he officially registered them into the system. Team 0527 was born, now under Han Jan's leadership. He then gave the duo a briefing on how the district functions. Finally, he pointed them toward a small room at the very back. Han Jan and Shayui opened the door, but were met with a nightmare. The place was a total dump, with trash and filth scattered everywhere. The smell and the mess were enough to make anyone's stomach turn. This was supposed to be their new headquarters, absolute garbage. Inside, a redhead woman and a lazy guy were lounging among the bottles. They looked like they'd been drinking for hours, total mess. The redhead asked who they were, and Han Jan announced he was captain. She looked genuinely surprised that a kid was taking over the team. The scruffy man on the bed finally decided to join the conversation. He just scoffed, turning away and calling it an insult to serve him. He told them to get lost, completely oblivious to who he was mocking. Then he jumped up and set his eyes on the young Shayui. Brazenly, he asked if she wanted to be his partner instead. This was a direct insult to our protagonist's face. Bad move. Absolutely furious, Han Jan lunged forward without a single second of hesitation. He delivered a crushing punch to the man's gut as punishment. The impact was so deep that fluid burst from the guy's mouth. The force was terrifying, sending the man flying across the entire room. He slammed into the wall with a sickening thud before collapsing down. The redhead Hung Yingwei told the guy Yan to finally show respect. She headed out to rest, but the idiot only begged her for money. In response, the young woman just slammed the door in his face. And there he stood, the pathetic and bruised Yifan. It is official, the team has hit rock bottom. They can't even afford a drink. While accessing the computer, the young man doubts Han Jan can make a difference here. He does not think the new guy will change anything for this failing team. Yifan pulls up the team's qualification compared to others. It is quite striking. The fact is they are dead last in the rankings. The lazy guy slumps. Sitting back down, he warns that staff reductions will kick them to the slums. He explains that the lower district is total chaos, completely without any rules. Surviving there is a difficult challenge, now that the alcohol is all gone. Effin knows they need to react, so they won't be permanently demoted. Suddenly, the girl on the team snaps. She says they won't achieve anything. They are just carrying the dead weight of Yin, who has lost all hope. But Han Jan feels he must prove to everyone that he is strong enough. He can handle all problems, no matter what the difficulties are for this group. Walking towards the door, Han Jan looks back with a look of determination. He confidently promises to turn them into an elite, unstoppable team. Next, our hero heads to the kitchen to talk to the mysterious redhead. The duo sits beside her. He uses a special ability to find her name. He reveals her true name, leaving her quite startled. This guy is truly different. She asks who he really is, and our hero responds to her quite calmly. That ability was just a small demonstration of his true, massive power. Sincerely, young Han Jan explains she is vital for elevating the team. In his eyes, she is the key to collectively raising their team's standing. Finally, he makes a direct proposal, offering her half of all mission earnings. He wants cooperation, not a rivalry within the group. The woman just stares. She assesses his intentions for a few seconds before she eventually accepts. She makes this decision because she sees a huge financial advantage. The protagonist asks her to sort the missions. He will take charge now. The girl informs him she found 3 compatible missions in the system. However, all the tasks are ridiculously easy for a group like theirs. It would take a long time to rise in rank doing only those. Han Jan is about to choose the mission that offers the most points. Without hesitation, the young man selects the mission to exterminate the Zergs. This is the most dangerous task, but it offers the highest reward possible. However, the redhead Hong Ying tells him he is crazy for wanting this. The mission recommends at least 6 experienced combatants for a real victory. Even so, Han Jan reassures her with a confident, charming smile. He will handle everything alone, as if it is just a simple test. The scene cuts to some angry extras who feel cheated and bitter. They just discovered the mission was accepted before they could take it. Determined, these extras decide to go after the person responsible for this. They want a real explanation for what happened to their precious mission. We return to the trio as they walk through the dangerous zone. The redhead mentions that the life detector found some insects nearby. There are 8 level 2 bugs lurking somewhere in the shadows. They are nearby, possibly waiting for the perfect moment to strike our group. The swarm is nesting. Our hero just laughs at his partner, overflowing with absolute confidence in their skills. But then, something totally unexpected happens. Grabbing everyone's attention, Han Jan suddenly charges forward without a single word. He bolts toward the enemy, moving as if he knows their exact location. The redhead panics seeing him charge alone and instantly rushes after him. She chases the young man, fearing the worst might actually happen to him. She is desperate to help in the battle our main character is already fighting. He is taking on the Zergs alone, but when she catches up, it is unbelievable. Every single monster is already dead, their bodies scattered across the dirt. She stands there in total shock, wondering just how powerful Han Jan really is. He brushes it off, saying the mission was easy and totally finished. Now, he starts gathering rare loot from the corpses to sell for major cash. Those materials are worth a fortune. Then, our hero decides to move on. He leaves her there, pointing out a fallen guardian she can return to base. She has to handle the cleanup. An hour later, a rival team finally arrives. These guys were hoping to steal the job, but they are way too late. They are stunned to find the entire mission has already been cleared out. 10 level 2 insects are dead. That is way more than the description said. One scout looks closer and notices something absolutely terrifying about the scene. Every single monster was killed with one perfect strike. This person is no amateur. Whoever did this is already gone, probably hunting for the next big score. Now we see the agency receptionist talking with a very grumpy Grandpa Zio. He is fuming because the trio actually succeeded in such a difficult mission. Learning about our hero's sudden victory sends him into a total rage. Zio snaps, ordering his men to take every single mission left on the board. He wants to block any chance our hero has of finding work again. Cut to our protagonist and his master, Li Xiuang, sharing a quiet meal. The old man offers to help handle the Zio situation, but Han Jan declines. He says he is just focusing on dealing with the city guardians for now. His master gives him a stern warning about how these organizations truly work. As national teams grow, they become harder to control and eventually start rotting. They are like old tree branches that decay. That is why the master trained him. He believes Hanjin is the only one who can handle this mess alone. Shifting the mood, our hero asks for advice on a secret master technique. He admits he is stuck and cannot seem to advance in his training anymore. It is frustrating, but old Lee just tells him to remember one specific phrase. Stay between life and death. That is the key he needs to hold on to. He says Hanjin will eventually understand what that means with enough time. Later that night, our hero is just relaxing peacefully on the couch. That is when Zayui walks in, looking incredibly awkward and a bit shy. She drops a bombshell. She has to sleep in the same room tonight. Apparently, the professor locked every other door in the house on purpose. He politely offers to sleep on the floor to give her some space. But she insists it is fine. There is plenty of room on the bed, right? The night ends with them both finally lying down together. Awkward. After resting up, the duo heads to the team room the next morning too. Clear the air, but when the others learn who our main character actually is, and his insane academy exam scores, well, let's just say they're beyond shocked. Totally stunned, they immediately apologize for looking down on him when they first met. Talk about a 180. Red-headed Hong Yingwei admits that someone this powerful is honestly just wasting his talent staying in a failing squad like theirs. But he's not having it. He makes it clear he didn't join for nothing. He's fully committed to turning this group around and making things better. Things are about to get rocky, though. Yin warns that every move they take will be a struggle. Why? Because our hero seriously ticked off Zayu. That brute is now doing everything in his power to crush the young man's career. Yingwei is worried. Every single mission in the district has already been snatched up. Looks like they've been blacklisted. With zero work left, she asks what's the plan. The team is officially jobless, but is our hero worried? Not even a little. He just grabs the device and starts looking for missions in neighboring cities. It's a bold move. The girl explains it's possible, but there's a huge catch. The roads between cities are a total death trap, absolutely far from safe. High-level monsters crawl everywhere. Most teams don't even make it halfway there alive. Suddenly, the scene cuts to Hanjan and his crew inside a speeding jeep. They're tearing down a deserted road, and things are looking pretty intense. They're desperately outrunning a swarm of giant insects that just came out of nowhere. Right in their path, young Zayui panics, asking what these freaky things even are. Level 1 Zergs, they always hunt in packs, and trust me, they're lethal. That's when Yin, the former drunkard, finally wakes up in the back seat. He takes one look at what's ahead and starts screaming his lungs out. And you can't blame him. Something absolutely terrifying is looming on the horizon. It's massive. Monsters are literally being tossed through the air like ragdolls. A massive black hurricane made of thousands of insects is blocking the entire road. Total nightmare fuel. Just ahead of the storm, another vehicle is racing for its life. They're barely hanging on. Yingwei sees them and wonders if they should help. Should we save them? Without a second thought, our heroes decide to jump in. They pull a wild maneuver, flooring the jeep straight toward the heart of danger. A sharp, screeching turn follows. It's a miracle they didn't flip the whole car. Poor Yin gets tossed around, slamming his head hard against the back of the jeep. Blood is literally oozing from the impact, but the guy is actually grinning. He's never felt more alive. But wait, who's in that other car anyway? Turns out it's Shan saying. She's a pretty big deal and she's in trouble. She's traveling with her personal bodyguard, but things are looking grim in there. The bodyguard drops some heavy news. If they don't act now, they're dead. 5 minutes, that's all they have before that storm swallows them whole. No backup is coming. Out of options, he makes a heart-wrenching command. He orders his men to sacrifice themselves, anything to keep the lady safe. They won't win, but they can buy her time. It's a suicide mission. She grabs the radio, desperately screaming for them to stop this madness. But they've made their choice. They are determined to die for her. The escort cars skidded into position, preparing to face the monsters. Tires screamed against asphalt as the men began their deadly countdown. Suddenly, 2 soldiers launched missiles straight into the heart of that insect horde. But the flames were useless. The black hurricane swallowed the explosion whole. In a terrifying flash, the soldiers were sucked into the tornado. Outside, the battalion was being torn apart. Inside, the woman sat frozen. She could do nothing but sob, listening to the desperate screams of her men. Suddenly, a massive roar echoed from outside, catching young Shang's sighing attention. Curiosity flickered through her fear as the sound shook the vehicle. Then, a blinding golden light tore through the dark sky, making the insects pause. It was our hero, Han Jan, unleashing massive energy beams at the living storm. He blasted a giant rift right through the middle of that swirling nightmare. Inside the truck, Shang Tsung and her guard watched in absolute disbelief. They were completely stunned by the protagonist's sheer level of power. He was actually dispersing the entire insect swarm all by himself. Absolute madness. But the hurricane fought back, launching a barrage of black projectiles at him. The spikes flew directly toward Han Jan with lethal, bone-chilling speed. Before they could hit, Yi Fan, the former drunkard, jumped in as a shield. The impact was brutal. Yi Fan's body was violently pierced by the spikes. He collapsed into the back of the car, multiple black needles embedded in him. Han Jan rushed to help, his face tight with worry for his friend. He shouted that they needed to remove them now, because those spikes were poison. But then, the spikes literally pushed themselves out as the wounds closed. It was like magic. His flesh was knitting back together right before their eyes. Our hero looked closer, realizing this was not just basic physical resistance. This man possessed an double S-rank immortality talent. Yeah, you heard that right. Han Jan was fascinated. How could a body recover so fast it could not be destroyed? With that kind of healing, he was basically a god on the battlefield. Totally invincible. The immortal Yi Fan just smirked, looking incredibly full of himself. He joked that if Han Jan begged, he might explain how his power worked. But our hero just shrugged, completely unbothered by the older man teasing. As the car sped forward, young Xiaoyi announced they had reached the first mission site. This news caught Yi Fan completely off guard. Suddenly, an even bigger horde of grotesque monsters charged straight at the group. Han Jan turned to Xiaoyi. He needed her weapon form to finish this quickly. Only her ultimate power could decimate a swarm this massive in one single blow. The monsters were closing in, their hideous faces just inches away from them. Then the hero unleashed a massive strike, cutting down waves of monsters. Yi Fan's jaw dropped, while Hung Yingwei stared in awe at that destructive power. She was becoming more impressed with Han Jan's strength every single day. Meanwhile, mission completion notifications started flooding the system screens. High-ranking officials gathered to discuss how fast the region was being cleared. They scanned the reports in total shock. None of this made any sense. Our hero team was finishing city tasks at a speed that was frankly impossible. Needless to say, the top brass were getting pretty annoyed by the situation. They pile into their jeeps, determined to confront the ones responsible. Since they are already here, they decide to clear the serpent horde. But a stout man spotted something up ahead. They were late. Han Jan's team had already finished that task as well. The squad leader shouted at the driver to turn back now. He needs urgent answers. Nearby, a young man with a facial scar tried to stop his reckless leader, fearing this wouldn't end well. Soon, another car was seen speeding away from the city. It was Han Jan's car, carrying the immortal Yin End. The blue-clad Xiaoyi. Now, we head to the Guardian headquarters. Inside his office sat Su Mingyuan, the city's third-in-command. He watched the system data, unable to believe what he saw. How were all the hardest missions in the region cleared so fast? An employee reports that Han Jan's team recently handled it all. They entered the area and wiped out every creature alone. His assistant brings in the files. Su Mingyuan is intrigued. He tells his secretary to leave the room right this second. Su Mingyuan begins digging into the system's most secret files. He needs to understand this bizarre situation. He starts researching. One by one, he checks the history of this mysterious group. They appeared from nowhere. Then, the commander discovers something alarming. Every single member is classified as ultra-secret. It makes no sense. But then, one document grabs his attention more than any other. He finds that the protagonist Han Jan's personal file is completely empty. He thinks it must be some kind of error. Before he can investigate further, his phone starts ringing loudly. On the line is Lin Jing Swan, the powerful district leader. His voice is cold. He orders Mingyuan to stop immediately. This investigation is over. Those files are way above his clearance. The commander obeys, but his mind is still racing. Who is this Han Jan, and how is he so powerful? Back on the battlefield, a giant centipede charges at our hero. The beast is already wounded, letting out a painful roar. But Han Jan isn't playing around. He finishes it for good. That makes 18 missions completed today. The group regathers. Our protagonist asks, "So, what's our current team ranking?" The redhead, Hong Ying, pulls up the system data now. Yin is thrilled with their performance. They've been on fire. But Hong Ying has some bad news. They have 1,800 points, but the team is still stuck in last place. Everyone is stunned. Last place, after all that work. Hong Ying snaps. The system has to be cheating them. Then they see it. Dozens of rival teams are working together. By joining forces, their scores have jumped way past our heroes. The group reaches an obvious and very frustrating conclusion. It was clearly just another trap by Zio. Still, Han Jan kept his cool. He confidently claimed they still had a real chance to turn the tide. The team decides to head for Deep Blue City. Shortly after that, our main character and his partner Zio visit the home of Master Li Shuang. After arriving, the old man wanted to hear how the group's mission went. Han Jan tells him they earned points, but the final rankings were terrible. Total disaster, honestly. During the chat, they bring up the woman they saved. They rescued her from that massive insect hurricane out on the open road. The master reveals the girl's family is incredibly wealthy and powerful there. He admits he sees her as his own granddaughter and won't abandon her. The old man tells them that Shang Xing was actually set up. She was sent to that dangerous region just to force her to stop. Luckily, nothing happened thanks to their rescue. The master then changes his tone. He says he has a special gift ready for the two youngsters. He pulls out an elegant briefcase and sets it right on the table. Opening it slowly, he reveals 2 glowing vials, top-tier enhancement potions. This case was part of the convoy our hero helped out earlier. Now, the girl herself wants him to have these items as a reward. These vials hold rare liquids that boost your physical stats and strength. Speed, reflexes, durability, everything gets a massive buff. The duo drinks up. Immediately, a surge of power floods their veins. Something deep is waking. Our protagonist watches in awe as Yeyu unlocks a new elemental divinity power. Plus, Han Jan gains musical skills and levels up his system. Right after absorbing the power, his phone starts ringing out of nowhere. Their red-haired teammate calls with some urgent news about a difficult mission. It is incredibly tough, but the point reward is off the charts here. Without wasting a second, our duo rushes off to find the team. Meanwhile, back in the tea room, the boss and his butler are alone. The servant reports they found Miss Ling Zhen, but she is refusing visitors. She is in Shanghai now. Back with the team, the redhead is skeptical. She asks Han Jan if he is actually serious about this mission. Is he really chasing that monster? She explains the explorer is pure danger. But Han Jan cuts her off, asking if she knows about red alerts. Do you even know what a red-level threat means? He asks her. It means that if they don't stop it, the city gets devastated. Meanwhile, in the tea room, only the boss and his butler remain. The servant reports they found Miss Ling Zhen, but she is refusing visitors. She is in Shanghai now. Back with the team, the redhead is skeptical. She asks Han Jan if he is actually serious about this mission. Is he really chasing that monster? She explains the explorer is pure danger. But Han Jan cuts her off, asking if she knows about red alerts. Do you even know what a red-level threat means? He asks her. It means that if they don't stop it, the city gets devastated. Then the drunkard Yin offers a toast, hyped for the upcoming challenge. While the redhead walks away grumbling, the scene cuts back to the group. Arrogant extras who look down on our hero are currently perched atop a skyscraper. From up there, they watch a terrifying lightning storm swallow the entire district. They are trash-talking the mission, wondering why they were not the only ones chosen. One of them spots our team approaching. He sneers, thinking the heroes will make perfect bait. They figure our heroes can distract the monster while they swoop in to save the day. Cut to our squad, finally stepping into the heart of that chaotic storm area. Our hero tenses up, telling everyone to keep their guard high from here on out. The redhead adds a chilling warning. Once they move forward, there is no going back. And just like that, the four of them dive into the challenge. They find themselves in a massive, enclosed space that looks just like a warehouse. Zayui whispers that the place feels wrong, like 1,000 eyes are watching them. Terrified, she grabs our protagonist's arm tightly. She can feel something terrible is coming. She is trembling, hearing weird noises echoing in the dark. It is enough to give chills. Even worse, she can feel the atmosphere literally sucking the energy right out of them. The redhead agrees. The longer they stay in this trap, the weaker they are going to get. Efon explains they only have half an hour to finish the objective. If they fail, they will just become food for the creature. Simple. Suddenly, the redhead points ahead. She asks if that is the sphere from the report. Sure enough, a massive black sphere is hovering right in front of them. Soon they spot an enormous black sphere floating directly ahead. Our hero wonders if smashing that thing will finally save the city from this nightmare. But as he readies his attack, the floor beneath their feet starts to warp. The ground turns into quicksand, instantly swallowing up the redhead and the immortal Yin. Then, stone walls erupt from the earth, growing into massive barriers all around them. This monster has a terrifying secondary skill. It can grant life to anything, even the ground. It manipulates weapons and terrain at will. Since they are stuck, Shiyu makes a move. She transforms into a spiritual sword, so she and the hero can fight together. Hanjin wastes no time, launching a barrage of heavy attacks straight at the wall. The hits explode on impact, but the cracks they leave behind start healing instantly. This impresses our hero, who is shocked at such an absurd regeneration ability. More walls close in. Our protagonist realizes he is being backed into a tight corner. Suddenly, a Zerg creature crawls out of nowhere, lunging at his back with lethal speed. A Zerg emerges from nowhere and comes from behind the hero. He dodges by a hair, and the wall swallows the creature instead. That was too close. The duo starts sprinting to find an exit fast. Their leader warns them to stay alert, but the group is overconfident. One redhead in the pack claims they are all strong enough. Suddenly, the ground shakes and those same stone walls trap them in a cage. The redhead yells for everyone to watch out as a shadow emerges from the mist. A dark silhouette slowly takes shape, looming over the panicked group. One of the guys notices the captain is acting strange, really strange. When he tries to check on him, the captain suddenly grabs him by the neck. He realizes that insects have invaded the leader's mind, and he is next. Immediately after, the insects invade his mind too, and the horror spreads. Now, we head back to see how Hong Ying-wei is holding up. He made a bit of an ironic joke about being lucky enough to never worry about dying, but the man didn't see this gift as any divine blessing, quite the opposite really. For him, immortality was just a never-ending curse. Casually, he said nothing mattered anyway, since they couldn't even leave this prison. Just then, the woman focused every bit of energy into her trembling palms. She launched a massive, destructive spell against the thick stone wall holding them. The structure began to split apart from top to bottom, as if rotting inside. It finally crumbled into 1,000,000 pieces, in the middle of the rising dust. A shadow appeared. The redhead thought it was Captain Han Jan for a second. But she quickly screamed for our hero to watch out. He didn't panic once. He easily avoided the strike and landed perfectly on top of a stone pillar. Finally, the whole squad was back together, but a giant stone hand emerged. Silently from the shadows behind them, the massive limb tried to crush his teammates, giving them zero time to react. At the last second, our hero intercepted the attack and smashed it midair with a single, precise hit. He yelled for everyone to retreat immediately, making it clear this fight was far from over. Just ahead, the massive stone beast finally revealed itself, rising up like a living mountain. Our hero immediately started to unleash his special technique called Swift Wind. This whipped up a massive hurricane around the squad as the monster drew closer. And when the beast struck, it managed to knock the redhead and the drunkard away. That punch was so intense, it sent a massive shock wave through the area. Our hero yelled that to win, they had to destroy the black orb powering the monster. The duo told him to move in while they provided some cover. Right then, the stone giant lunged forward and tried to land a devastating punch. The immortal warrior dove forward, activated his shield, and took the full impact. He warned that he could only use this defensive power 6 more times. They had to move fast. This created the perfect opening for our hero to strike the black orb, going all out against the massive monster. Next, the young man summoned a colossal bolt of lightning that struck the creature. The energy blasted the monster's head, and the black orb seemed to shatter. Along with the massive electrical blast, the immortal thought they had actually succeeded, but when he looked back, he saw our hero was gravely wounded. He had a deep, bloody wound in his gut, but even so, he stayed standing and told his friends to flee. That is when a gigantic, hideous insect crawled out before them, ready to keep the fight going. The monster looked at them with pure arrogance and spoke in a terrifying voice, declaring it would slaughter everyone present at that very moment. Right behind it, the redhead appeared, saying the explorer was a real surprise. She tried to convince the beast to use its illusion powers together. Suddenly, amidst all the thick smoke, our hero questioned her strange and cold attitude. The redhead suddenly started to cry. She realized she was being totally controlled and asked what was happening to her body before her face changed. She coldly said that now she only wanted to kill them all. Our hero noticed the strange, sickly glow in her eyes and realized the girl had been infected. It was a very special type of Zerg parasite. A parasitic nightmare. It turns every victim into a mindless puppet. History says a legendary warrior was once taken over by this creature. He leveled an entire city. The loss of life was absolutely devastating. An entire organization had to unite just to finally stop him. Everyone thought they were extinct for 32 years. They were wrong. Now one stands before our hero. He asks the immortal for time. He needs to gather energy for one final, decisive strike. That enemy orb, it just grew 10 times larger after absorbing energy. Hanjin needs insane speed now. He cannot get caught in this blast. All he needs is Yan to buy him just 3 minutes. Power erupts from him. His body is literally healing itself now. The infected redhead screams for the beast to act quickly. It fires. A massive blue laser blasts forward, but the immortal moves in. He deploys his shield. He is standing firm to protect our hero. He blocks the blast. Now the monster tries a dirty trick. It uses the girl as a distraction to break his focus. It attempts to invade his mind, but Yin reacts instantly. He headbutts her, anything to break the creature's mental control. A small parasite gets knocked right out of the woman's head. This is exactly what happened to the previous group leader. The creature lunges. The immortal shoves it back with pure force. He only has 2 more resurrections left, no more playing around. He finishes it. He literally crushes the pathetic little parasite flat. Another blue beam fires. The shield holds strong against the impact. That drunkard wonders how much longer our hero will take here. Hanjan simply sends his own sword to aid the immortal. Xiaoi shifts back to human form. Our protagonist takes the lead. Handle the small fries. I'm taking the leader down alone. A massive yellow laser blasts out, but the monster is fast. It dodges and pulls a bizarre sword right from its throat. The beast strikes. Our hero blocks the blade with his hand. That power was just repelled. The creature cannot believe this strength. The master's glove is revealed. It is soaking up every impact. They vanish, a blur of violent, high-speed combat across the room. You can barely see them. Both of them land heavy hits. Shoulders collide. They both pull back to catch a quick breath. Han Jan knows the clock is ticking. He has to finish. Otherwise, the monster will absorb every drop of the explorer's energy. This is it, life or death. He has to end it now. His gloves glow. The blockbreaker is finally ready for action. No more hesitation. He charges forward at a terrifying high speed. He gets right in its face. No escape for the monster. One direct punch. He slams his fist into the creature's chest. The blow is absolutely brutal. Impact beyond anything we have seen. The creature's structure disintegrates in midair, falling apart into nothing. Pieces scatter everywhere. But even as just ahead, that monster claims the hero truly lost. Our protagonist is shaken. He can't wrap his head around how this thing is still alive. He watches in horror as the creature's mangled body starts to regenerate at high speed. Total despair hits the team. It's a nightmare. Meanwhile, the captain gets some more bad news. The drunkard reveals that the red-haired girl has completely vanished. Then, the real trap finally springs. Massive chains come out of nowhere, tightening around the group. No escape, not this time. The beast raises its arms, clutching a boulder so huge it basically blots out the sun. Intense pressure crushes down on them, but then something crazy happens. The drunkard steps up. He catches that massive rock with his bare hands. He yells for the captain to move fast. But immortality has its limits. Cracks start echoing through our hero's body. He's literally breaking. Han Jan sees it. Yin is at his breaking point. He can't hold on much longer. Suddenly, a giant spectral hand appears in the sky, towering over that monster. The creature can't even move before getting slammed. Direct hit. The team is completely stunned. Who saved them? How? Then the truth comes out. This is the master's true power. The old man steps out from his carriage, radiating an aura that's just otherworldly. He's on a whole different level. The sheer pressure he gives off is just insane. Our hero tries to say something, maybe a thank you, but his body finally gives out. The struggle was just too much. He collapses right there, luckily caught by his friends. He blacks out instantly. Next thing he knows, he's waking up in a hospital bed. He opens his eyes and finds Xiaoyi sitting right there, her eyes full of worry. Our young hero scans the room, looking totally confused by the quiet surroundings. Where is he? What happened? He doesn't understand the current situation at all. Xiaoyi fills him in. After he passed out, the master wiped out most of the monsters. A few got away, though. Our warrior immediately asks, wait, where is Yin? Xiaoyi explains the grim reality. Even with immortality, their friend is in bad shape. His injuries are deep, and get this, his recovery is moving at a snail's pace. The mood in the room gets heavy. Then, a nurse bursts in looking for Yifan. Bad news again, the patient has vanished from his bed, empty, just like that. Xiaoyi realizes what happened. Those creatures took the girl, and he's gone after them alone. He's going solo to get her back, but wait, there's even more bad news. The mission was a total bust. Everything was confiscated, plus they lost 100 points. A complete disaster. Our hero asks, what did the master say about all this? He's hoping for some wisdom, but the answer he gets isn't what he expected. The master left it unresolved. Why? So our protagonist would have to fix it himself. That's the master's way, a test, and Han Jan gets the message loud and clear. He decides right then, he's going to take back everything that belongs to him. No more backing down, time to move. We cut to a group of extras. They're bragging about how lucky they got with the hero's loot. Complete idiots. They think they got away with it, until bang, the door gets kicked wide open. Our duo has arrived. They're not here to talk, they want the leader's location now. One of these thugs thinks he's tough. He tries to provoke our main character. Big mistake, pure audacity. He's acting like he's the boss here. He's really not. Our hero is done with the games. He delivers a slap so heavy it's unreal. No patience for talk. That powerless punk goes flying across the room. Satisfying? Absolutely. He hits the ground hard. Honestly, you and I know he had that coming. Hit the hard floor. Right then, he challenged the rest of those criminals. He shouted, asking if anyone else was brave enough to try their luck. Stunned by Han Jan's raw power, the thugs started filming everything in fear. They sent the clips to Zio, waiting for their boss to react. Meanwhile, the fallen man lunged with a knife in a rage, but our hero caught his arm and started swinging. Just then, the big boss Zio appeared. He stepped inside, demanding to know the real reason for this sudden invasion. Our hero stood firm, demanding his stolen items back plus a formal apology. The brute told his men to send that fight footage to the authorities. He threatened the young man, promising a punishment that would be absolutely severe. But the henchmen had bad news. The authorities refused to help. They said they wouldn't interfere in the internal business of local guardians. Hearing that, the old man snapped, becoming completely consumed by pure rage. He crushed the communicator with his bare hands in a fit of fury. Suddenly, the brute calmed down, asking how to end this mess for good. He wanted a way out without more trouble. Our hero's answer: simple, he wanted full access to the city vault to take everything. Take everything he could carry. The man hesitated at such a bold move. He eventually agreed, but only if the young man used his hands. Just what fits in your palms, he said. Little did he know. Our hero had a secret weapon, a rare magic ring gifted by his master. This artifact can store massive hauls. Now, you and I watch him enter. He stepped into the vault, ready to execute his grand plan of clearance. Outside, Zio mocked him, telling his men it was an impossible task. How much could a guy carry in just the palms of his hands? But inside, our hero pulled out a secret treasure map from a friend. It showed every single hidden gem tucked away inside that massive vault. He spotted skeletal remains, giant insect wings, and rare medicinal plants on shelves. Rare herbs were everywhere, but then something else caught his sharp eye. A sturdy carapace from a level 6 crab was sitting right there. Our protagonist decided right then to claim every single one of these treasures. Everything went straight into that gifted dimensional ring. A bit later, he calmly walked out of the vault as his partner rushed over. She was dying to know what he took, but he kept it secret. He whispered that he would only tell her once they were truly alone. After they left, Jiao was baffled. The young man looked totally empty-handed. But when he called the vault manager, the villain got a shock. The news was devastating. Our hero had cleared out half the stock. Half the vault, gone. A henchman reported he had already called the authorities. But the answer was the same: your problem, your mess to fix. They wouldn't lift a finger. Later that night, things got a bit cozy. Our hero was resting when Zayui walked out from her bath. The mood shifted instantly. She asked him to sleep in her room. She whispered how much it scared her, almost losing him in that fight. She leaned in close, but suddenly a girl in pajamas popped up. A black-haired girl suddenly appears right in the center of the room. Talk about a mood killer. You and I both know that's quite an interruption. Who knew someone else was living in this massive house this whole time? Meet Li Lingzhen. Turns out she's actually Master Lai Shuang's granddaughter. And she's not just visiting, she's officially moving in with them. Our hero uses his observation skill, but what he sees is absolutely shocking. This girl isn't human. She's actually one of the world's most powerful magical weapons. Hanjin's blushing seeing her in those pajamas, but she couldn't care less. Zero shame, she just tells them this is her ultimate comfort zone. Plus, she's a famous best-selling author who needs these clothes for inspiration. She then offers to hop into bed with them. Talk about confusing. The tension in the room just hit a whole new level of chaos. Xiao completely panics, telling her they literally just met 5 minutes ago. But Li Lingzhen clarifies she just wants to form a contract with him. Hearing that, our blue-haired lady finally lets out a massive sigh of relief. Hanjin makes her a deal. With a contract, he can help her reach higher. This could awaken her true potential. But then, she starts messing with her pajamas. She begins tugging at them in a very suggestive way. Hanjin is totally startled. He definitely didn't see this coming. Why is she acting so natural about this? She explains that in her books, magical contracts always require intense physical proximity. According to her writing, you've got to get close. Like really, really close. It's a bit much for our duo, but Hanjin just rolls with it. He starts the ritual. Time to see what this legendary weapon can really do. Glowing chains of magical energy erupt between them. The pact is officially sealed. Her power begins to evolve right before his eyes. The results are instant. Hanjin is impressed. He praises her new strength and wants a field test. Let's see what you've got. Meanwhile, Xiao is clearly feeling the awkwardness. She makes a quick exit to the kitchen, claiming she's just thirsty for water. But the second she gets there, she hears some very questionable noises. Panic mode, she rushes back to the room to see what's going down. Relief hits her hard. It's just her companions testing out a new transformation. Hanjin's got a new discovery too, these spiritual energy pills. Turns out, Liling Jen can produce these with her new powers. Now pay attention, this is where the serious search finally begins. Their new member asks for a description, and Xiao pulls out a photo. One look at the picture, and Liling Jen recognizes her immediately. She saw someone just like her at a famous nightclub in the city. That's our first lead, but before they leave, Hanjin does something strange. He sprays everyone with a special scent. Why? To attract Zerg monsters. That's bold. Inside the club, Hanjin starts questioning the local bartender. He asks if a guy named Ba Shuang has been around lately. The bartender gives him a weird look before shouting to the whole room. Attention everyone, drinks are on Hanjin, the crowd goes absolutely wild. Our hero is standing there, totally confused. What just happened to his wallet? You and I know this party is about to get expensive. The bartender sighs, explaining that some girl racked up a massive bill earlier. Apparently, she claimed a guy looking for her would cover the whole tab. The staff member hands over a locked chest left for whoever came asking. He passes the strange, heavy box over to our main character. They open it to find a chilling note. The Zerg cycle has started, and 7 parasites are now loose nearby. Suddenly, he stops reading and tells his friends he has to hit the restroom. He makes it sound urgent, leaving his confused team behind for a moment. Inside, he accidentally shoves a guy in glasses who was just standing there suspiciously. Out of nowhere, the man snaps, lunging at our hero with murderous intent. He wasn't just angry, he was looking to cause some serious damage. But when that punch lands, our hero feels nothing, he just shoves him back. As the guy falls, a nasty Zerg monster bursts from the back of his neck. The creature hisses, slashing through the air with its razor-sharp claws. Hanjin doesn't even flinch, obliterating the bug before it can even touch him. One clean strike, that's all it took to end the threat right then and there. The rest of the crew finally rushes in, hearing the absolute chaos inside. He quickly breaks it down. A Zerg-possessed human just tried to take him out. It was a total ambush, but luckily, he handled the situation perfectly. Xiao realizes that is one of the 7 monsters down, 6 more to go. They head out to hunt for more clues, but a new threat is waiting. Suddenly, a guy with a machete swings at our hero's head. He dodges just in time, delivering a kick that really packs a punch. The man hits the cold floor hard, out for the count instantly. The parasite jumps from his head, but our hero crushes it mid-flight. The girl in blue freezes. She recognizes this guy as one of Jiahu's thugs. This wasn't just a random attack, it was a targeted strike from the villain. Our hero puts it together. Everyone in this club is tied to Jiahu. These infected men are just pawns for that monster's twisted plans. Meanwhile, at Jiahu's office, the brute is calmly teaching a student. The door slams open. It is the immortal Yin, and he looks absolutely furious. He demands answers, accusing the big man of corruption and playing God. He is using those insects to mind control the city's strongest awakened students. Xiao just sneers, coldly reminding him that Effen's wife is already dead. He tells him to shut up and stop making such a pathetic scene. Effen begins to emanate a sinister aura, growling that this is all the brute's fault and he's finally here to settle things. Xiao shrugs it off as bad luck, wondering if the immortal is feeling brave. He asks if he is really ready to handle the reinforcements coming his way. In an instant, a crowd of thugs surrounds the immortal, ready to strike. The old man smiles like a snake, claiming the young man started it. All the goons rush him from behind, trying to catch him off guard. They're banking on their numbers to finish the immortal off for good. He powers up, ready to fight for his life against the entire group. Before he can move, Han Jan bursts in, knocking every guard down. Everyone is stunned by his entrance. He warns anyone who wants to live to get out of there fast. This matter is personal now. But suddenly, all right, you and I see these thugs ignoring every warning, charging our hero. They are out for blood, but our main character looks perfectly satisfied. He unleashes a storm of punches and elbows, dropping goons one after another. In a flash, the bullies are history. Even the immortal is stunned. Our guy's combat skills have leveled up. Sensing a chance to escape, Zio tries to bolt through the chaos, but our hero is way faster. He catches him instantly. Showing no mercy, Han Jan throws a heavy punch. It slams right into his chest, sending the corrupt old man crashing down. As he falls, a disgusting control insect crawls out of Jayu's head. It tries to flee, but our hero anticipates the creature's every single move. He crushes it with one strike, but he realizes this isn't the mother. Not yet. Suddenly, the city guards burst into the office, weapons ready. They see Captain Zio lying there dead, and they are absolutely furious. Tensions explode. Meanwhile, at the mayor's office, the secretary enters with paperwork. She asks for his signature, but when the mayor slowly turns around, we see the truth. The Zerg Eclipse Mother has completely overtaken his mind. It's terrifying. All we hear are screams as he attacks the poor woman. That monster is using the politician like a puppet, back with our heroes. Han Jan tells the woman in blue to contact their master immediately. She hesitates, insisting she won't leave him alone. But then our hero grabs her hand, eyes dead serious. He tells her to go, no arguments. Now, you and I see the infected mayor ordering a massive citywide manhunt. The hunt is on. The politician wears a sinister grin, looking totally evil. He mocks them, surprised our heroes fell into his trap so damn easily. Back to our protagonist, he is stepping out of the building alone. He is distancing himself to be arrested, doing anything to keep friends safe. The moment he hits the street, an old man appears on a hoverboard. He announces the arrest. This mysterious elder isn't playing around with him. He uses a massive pressure power, forcing our hero to surrender right now. Meanwhile, the story shifts to Master Li Shuang talking to the shadows. He tells the hidden figure to stop hiding and finally show themselves. A mysterious person emerges, surprised the master looks so calm right now. Even though his student's life is hanging by a thread, the professor smirks. He starts leaking a monstrous aura, asking if things must get this extreme. The hooded figure doesn't flinch. He knows that hoverboard old man is fake. Just a clone of the real villain. Master Li Yuang just laughs it off. He accepts he's stuck. As the hooded figure fades back into darkness, he whispers that he still has a few tricks left up his sleeve. Then his ally, Lin Jingyuan, shows up, asking if they should help Hanjin. But the master declines. He has already planned 10 steps ahead of everyone. Cut to our hero, he is tied to a chair. The hoverboard elder demands a confession. But our hero stays firm, denying everything with a glare. The old man loses it and punches him hard, right in the face. He gives our guy 2 choices, join them or be deleted forever. Game over, our hero just stares back, asking about his shady organization. The old man confirmed it, those mind-controlling insects were their work. He bragged that these creatures were the deadliest secret weapons in their hidden arsenal. Han Jan did not hesitate. He rejected their offers to do things his own way. He made it clear he was not playing by their rules or following their path. Fast forward to the next day, our hero is bound and headed for the gallows. A voice boomed out. The announcer stood by the mayor, signaling the final countdown. The mayor leaned in. He wanted to know if Han Jan's team was caught. Before the man could say no, the mayor snapped and kicked him out immediately. Left alone with his thoughts, the mayor wondered why Han Jan looked so peaceful. Even with death staring him down, the protagonist did not show a hint of fear. People in the crowd whispered, They recognized him, the SSS-level genius from school. Suddenly, the mayor stepped onto the stage, sending a wave of shock through the onlookers. His presence changed the air. Everyone waited to see what he would do next. He claimed this genius had to die because he supposedly harmed innocent people for gain. The lies kept coming. He told the crowd Han Jan had joined the monsters. He painted him as a traitor who wanted to destroy the city's fragile peace. It worked. The people turned, screaming for the young man to pay for these crimes. With a wicked smile, the mayor gave the signal. It was time for the final mechanism. The executioner moved. The machine groaned as the heavy metal gears started to turn. That massive blade began to drop. It was falling straight for our hero's neck. But at the final moment, a hand slammed down on the emergency stop button. The mechanism jammed. Just like that, Han Jan's life was saved from the edge. There she was, shanking. The woman he saved in the desert appeared with her soldiers. The mayor was furious. He demanded to know why the merchants were interfering with city business. This was internal. They had no right to step in like this. Then, the rest of the squad appeared in the crowd, weapons ready to protect their friend. Meanwhile, Master Li Xiuang was deep in conversation with a mysterious hooded figure in shadows. They were watching from afar, two powerful players in a much bigger game. The shadow said the drama was finished, but the master just let out a confident smirk. The shadow vanished. Suddenly, a voice on the master's phone reported some disturbing news. They had not found the enemy leader yet. The main target was still out there. Liu Tong pushed for clues. The name came up, a secret organization known as Breaking Down. Now look back at the heroes. The crowd was buzzing after the execution stopped. People were in total shock. Who would dare to challenge the mayor's direct order? Shanking Ting did not hold back. She announced this whole thing was a mayor's setup. She screamed for everyone to hear. Han Jan was not a villain, he was a hero. Now free, our hero moved like a blur. Weapon in hand, he was ready to finish. He shouted his resolve. He was not a criminal. He was fighting for all humanity. A massive screen flickered to life. It showed footage of Han Jan crushing those monsters. The onlookers were stunned. The evidence was clear. They had been lied to all along. But then the air grew heavy. An old man descended from the sky, glowing with power. One shout from him silenced the entire area. His voice felt like literal thunder. The squad froze. That terrifying aura was overwhelming. Who was this powerful old man? He declared his intent. His corporation wanted Han Jan dead, and that was the mission. He warned them nobody was standing in his way today, not one soul. A giant hand descends from the sky to crush Han Jan, but right before it could reach its target, an explosion rips through the air, destroying the hand. The old man is stunned, but before he can act, a mysterious shot hits him squarely and knocks him down. The crowd watches in absolute confusion. Shanying spots a mysterious figure on a rooftop, who quickly flees the scene. Immediately after, the mayor, glowing with a red aura, attacks our hero. Han Jan knows this chaos is his master's plan and prepares to fight back. A powerful punch flies toward him, but he dodges it with lightning speed. The mayor is astonished, but Han Jan is already behind him, ready to strike. Bang! Han Jan hits the mayor's face, throwing him to the ground in an explosion. The politician is defeated, but a mother Zerg leaps from his forehead to flee. Han Jan snatches the creature midair and crushes it easily with his bare hands. He shows the remains to the crowd, revealing he's protecting them from Zergs. These monsters had infiltrated society. Our hero was humanity's shield this whole time. While Han Jan delivers his speech, Master Li Shudong appears suddenly behind him. The master asks how it felt to experience the gap between life and death. Han Jan replies that next time, he'll resolve everything without needing any outside help. Shudong congratulates his student. The last evil insect in the city is finally gone. He only regrets the enemies died before they could reveal any secret information. He mentions a secret society among the Guardians, but he lacks concrete details. At that moment, Yifan appears. Hong Yingwei has finally been found. Han Jan is devastated. He asks where exactly they managed to find the poor girl. The immortal says several bodies were found floating in the sea near the beach. We see coffins in the water. Inside one, the red-haired girl lies lifeless. But something sinister happens. Her face begins to change and darken with malice. Her eyes snap open, and a creature crawls out from between her lips. Sometime after the commotion, our heroes enjoy a peaceful lunch together as a team. They discuss their progress. Everyone on the team has officially reached level 3. Hanjin says Liling Zhen also evolved, while Xiaoyue learned several new skills. Shangxing offers him a contract, but he politely chooses to turn her down. He only makes contracts with divine spirits to ensure they reach true evolution. Master Liu Tong asks about Hanjin's future plans now that he's fully evolved. The boy is determined. He wants to continue evolving no matter the cost. Hearing this, the master sends him to a brutal, legendary, and ancient battlefield. It is a place where constant conflict has raged for many long years. Hanjin notes that Liling Zhen has evolved, catching up to the rest of the team. He adds that Xiaoyue has mastered several incredibly useful and powerful new skills. Shangxing offers Hanjin a contract, but he decides to turn her down politely. He only bonds with spirits possessing divinity to ensure they can fully evolve. Master Liu Tong asks what Hanjin's future plans are after reaching this peak. The boy replies that he intends to keep evolving, regardless of the challenge. Hearing this, the master decides to send his student to a legendary battlefield. This is a place where endless conflict has raged for many long years. He adds that since this mission is a brutal trial, things are changing. It is too dangerous. The girls cannot go with him this time around. Training shouldn't happen here. Instead, we see a massive wall lined with cannons blasting nonstop. Giant snakes get hit by heavy weapon fire, while wounded soldiers lie on the ground. Xiao Ye and Zhang are talking about their squad's losses. They're devastated by the current state of things and start complaining. One of them is desperate for reinforcements to arrive immediately. His squad has already lost 2 men in this fight. Suddenly, a helicopter lands. Our protagonist, Han Jan, steps out ready for action. He gives them his name, but the men think he's quite strange. Why didn't he bring any spirits? This place is way too dangerous. He is unarmed and will surely die. Neither soldier wants him on their team. They start arguing over who has to take the rookie. It's a mess. Neither man wants him, so they fight over who takes the rookie. Finally, the blonde soldier gives in. He calls Han Jan over to meet. He's the captain of this squad. Han Jan is joining their team now. He introduces the other recruits, Kaiyang and Shikan, but she interrupts them. Shikan is complaining about being soaked. Their last mission was a disaster. She gets stuck in her coat. She asks him for help. She got completely soaked on the mission. She's frustrated and needs help. She's stuck in the fabric. She asks our hero to help her out. Han Jan helps her get unstuck. Afterward, she smiles and says thanks. She approaches him and gives her thanks. Then, she asks about the recruit. Is this the new guy? He doesn't have any human-shaped spirits with him. Han Jan formally introduces himself. He even brought some gifts for the group. He releases treasures from the vault. The recruits are buzzing with excitement. They're thrilled with the valuable items. Everyone starts thanking Han Jan right away. They're grateful for his generosity, but the captain refuses to take a gift. The captain says no, he doesn't need gear for his specific work. He's a mecha operator after all. He orders everyone to prepare for the mission. They must get ready now. When the leader walks away, he asks, "Is he really a mecha pilot?" One recruit explains the captain's past. After his partner died, he became a pilot. He's determined to keep fighting. He won't give up. Suddenly, the captain interrupts their lively conversation. He comes back throwing sacks of potatoes. Han Jan asks about the mission. What are they doing exactly? The captain says they're cutting the descendants. Our hero is totally confused by that, so the captain explains the situation. They're hunting Asaki clan snakes. These monsters breed 10,000 times faster. It's a crazy growth rate. Humanity was losing because of them. A month ago, Weing returned. He turned the tide for everyone. He wiped out many creatures. However, some managed to escape the slaughter. They've been losing ground for a while. But finally, things are looking up. Weeing is a true hero. He managed to change their luck in this area. He crushed many snakes, but a few managed to slip away. Their mission is to find the nest. They set off into the forest. They start their trek immediately. The scene shifts to a dark, creepy forest. Our group is hunting for the nest. Han-jan is ready to fight. It seemed they'd reached their destination, but something felt very wrong. Something high above caught his eye. Looking up, he saw a strange fabric. No, it looked like massive skin draped over everything. Totally bizarre. It choked the entire forest, covering almost every single tree. The captain identifies it as a saki snake skin, a process that happens every time they level up. Suddenly, our hero let out a loud shout, warning them that those snake eggs were hidden deep inside this disgusting material. Right then, a rain of eggs starts falling down. Eggs plummet from above, slamming into the earth. The captain, from inside his heavy armor, he explains how massive these snakes actually are. Confirming those eggs stay in the dead skin, this was their target, all right. But then, shock hits. Those eggs start cracking open all on their own. Cracking midair, the whole group is stunned as they watch. What was that? A weird noise was coming from inside those falling shells. As the eggs keep falling, a deafening sound erupts from right above them. The pure sound pressure from this attack was absolutely insane, just overpowering. It's so strong it actually blasts the captain's heavy armor backward. Total chaos. The captain gets blown right off the cliff, but our hero lunges forward. He lunges desperately to save his comrade. He manages to grab onto the machine's metal arm, using immense strength to hurl that robot back up. The captain lands safely, completely stunned by this rookie's raw physical power. How does a new guy have that much strength? But the team panics. They're devastated. Nobody could survive a fall into that abyss. Not a chance. The pilot is completely broken, blaming himself for the kid's tragic fate. He's lost in guilt, but then, wait, look at the cliff's edge. A hand suddenly shoots up, gripping the rock with pure determination. It's our hero. He casually asks for a hand to pull himself up. The whole team is screaming with joy. They're so relieved he's alive. As he walks over, the captain looks seriously annoyed. Here's why. He tells Han-jan it was reckless to sacrifice himself like that for him. Our hero just gives a calm nod. He gets it. But then, while they're talking, a swarm of snakes starts closing in on them fast. Newborns from the Asaki clan. Han-jan spots them immediately. It's about to go down. The captain yells for everyone to stay sharp. This is dangerous. The other recruits are terrified. There's just an insane number of baby snakes. Coming from every side, the monsters charge and the captain steps up. The leader smashes into them, using his armor's massive strength to hold back. The blonde girl is horrified. There are too many. They're totally surrounded now. Escape looks impossible. They're going to be eaten alive for sure. But wait, right then, our protagonist activates his special ring. Check this out. A massive aura barrier explodes around the group. The snakes stop dead. They just stare in confusion, circling the barrier and waiting for an opening. Even the captain is baffled. Why are they all just standing there? Dozens of snakes just watching. Then our hero asks a simple question. Why are you waiting? Fire those armor weapons and burn these things down. All right, check this out. The captain fires up the mecha flamethrower to incinerate every snake. The whole team is totally floored by that massive firepower. They start thanking Han-jan for saving their lives earlier. Once the captain finally finishes burning those monsters, he notes how humble our hero is, unlike those other arrogant nobles we usually see. But suddenly, a red alert flashes across the mecha screen. This makes Han-jan curious. The captain replies that the other teams failed their missions to clear the nests. It has been a total disaster for everyone involved. Without our protagonist's help, they would have certainly failed this mission too. He explains that those Asaki clan snakes are actually smart. They knew exactly where the human reinforcements were hiding out. He suggests Han-jan use his magic ring to draw the snakes away. Han-jan isn't sure they can handle that many snakes alone. But he warns the team that if they do not run, they are all dead. Suddenly, a giant threat emerges from the shadows. A massive rank 15 Asaki tribe guardian snake is looming right behind the group. Everyone freezes in shock. Its colossal size it is insane. Hanjin immediately screams for everyone to run from there at once. Hearing this, the two rookies bolt in a blind panic. They know it is impossible to defeat such a monster. In this moment, the captain shows full courage and uses his entire weapon arsenal to buy his friends time to escape. But sadly, the attack has zero effect on the beast. It lunges forward with lightning speed, sinking its giant fangs into the armor. The monster crushes the robot. By a miracle, the captain manages to crawl out of the machine. But he is falling from a great height through the air right now. After that, the monster turns its focus on those two fleeing recruits. They are paralyzed with fear and just stand there as it strikes. But just before they die, the magic shield from Hanjin's items activates. Their lives are temporarily saved. However, this snake is not stopping. It spits out a powerful glob of corrosive acid now. The attack melts the magic protection and disintegrates the two teammates. Hanjin becomes absolutely furious witnessing the tragic death of his comrades. He glares at the monster with a terrifying, hate-filled gaze. Right then, the creature violently charges at him, but our hero manages to escape by a hair's breadth. Realizing this is bad, Hanjin summons his sword now and conjures a hurricane for defense. The snake sees his strategy and spits a venomous dart, knocking Hanjin to the ground. He is wide open. The snake seizes the chance to attack and tries to swallow him. The snake launches a venomous dart at him, knocking Hanjin to the ground. While he is down and vulnerable, the snake tries to swallow him whole. But wait! A brilliant light descends from the sky right now and slams right into the snake's head, killing the massive beast instantly. The giant creature falls over dead. And in this heart-stopping moment, a mysterious woman appears through the smoke, looking like a total goddess. A stunning woman in blue, Gongyangjin, suddenly appears and offers a calm greeting. She tells our main character, Han Jan, that he is impressive, definitely her type. But she warns him, she is not exactly the person he thinks she is. She is from the Exile District, a place the whole world fears as pure danger. It is a death trap. Han Jan realizes this city is packed with society's worst outcasts. We are talking about a city where only those expelled from society can survive. Han Jan uses his special ability to scan her status. What he sees, absolutely shocking. This woman is not just anyone. She is a rank 8 Valkyrie, a total powerhouse. She nimbly blurs behind him, whispering praise about the magical resonance of his sword. Just like that, she decides, Han Jan is going to be her support from now on. Of course, he tries to say no, but this lady does not take no for an answer. She makes it clear, a level 3 like him has no business defying her orders. Han Jan stands his ground. He is on a mission and cannot just abandon his post. It is too important to walk away from. Duty calls, and he is not budging. She is not impressed. She threatens to force him. That is when our hero gets radical. He would rather die right here than be forced into anything. Now that is resolve. Seeing he is dead serious, the beautiful warrior backs off. She asks what he wants. What will it take to make him join her? Han Jan lays out his condition. He will be her support, but only if she helps him clear the Asaki nest. Total extermination of the snake nest, that is the price for his help. Without even blinking, the powerful Valkyrie agrees to lend him her insane strength. They get to work. Han Jan starts pointing out key strategic spots on the map. He tracks down exactly where those remaining snakes are hiding. Mission is a go. She does not seem worried about some monsters, but then things get dark, very dark. A strange, pitch-black smoke starts oozing from her back. Something is very, very wrong. The shadow twists into a hideous monster, taking complete control of the warrior's body. His sword spirit screams at him to run, but the monster has already taken over. It is total possession. She snaps, lunging at Han Jan with pure, violent intent to kill. He is fast, though. Han Jan draws his magic blade and releases a purifying wave. The light hits her, shattering the dark shackles the monster had placed on her. She finally comes back to her senses, looking totally dazed and confused. She wonders what kind of high-level magic he just used to save her life. He is chill about it, just basic healing and status removal, he says, no big deal. But he needs to know, what the heck just happened to her back there? Gongyang Jin explains. She has been infected by a nasty level 9 parasite insect. It hijacks her body, forcing her into a blind, uncontrollable rage. Scary stuff. Our hero needs a closer look. He asks permission to examine the infection site. The warrior trusts him. She lowers her blouse, revealing a massive, ugly scar. Han Jan reaches out, his hands glowing as he begins to channel healing magic. The sensation is overwhelming. She is in complete ecstasy as the energy flows through her. It is helping the pain, but the infection is deep. He is not finished yet. Time to bring out the big guns. He decides to use much stronger magic. Suddenly, a massive cauldron of vital energy appears, completely surrounding the woman. She is bathed in light, healing wounds she has carried for a long time. The process is clearly working. She looks, well, more than just a little pleased. Our protagonist keeps blowing her mind. He says she is 50% healed. But to keep this going, he needs a massive energy boost immediately. He has to drain vital energy from every insect in the area. Ready to end this, the girl shifts the subject right away. She says they are finishing the snake mission this very second. She grabs his arm and they take flight, heading into action. Then we see a drone hovering above the woods, watching everything. Lin Jingyuan is at the controls, spotting something terrifying on screen. The insect army is locked, loaded, and ready for a full war. He tells his squad to stay put and prepare for the worst. Back in the forest, our hero stands atop a massive, jagged rock. He watches the snake slither below, then Han Jan just leaps. He slams into the nest with force, triggering a massive explosion. The woman in blue is stunned. She thinks he is absolutely insane. Now check this out. The military command center is absolutely losing it. They see our hero invading the nest and think he is suicidal. To them, he is just throwing his life away for no reason. Our protagonist starts throwing heavy hands, landing blows on the beasts. But these snakes are tanks. His punches barely even scratch them. It is not looking good. The monsters completely swarm him from all sides. Just as things get desperate, the woman in blue finally moves. She fires a lethal laser, descending from the sky like a goddess. She carves those monsters into pieces, but our hero isn't done. Han Jan decides it is time to unlock the third gate of his technique. He tests his strength with a single, devastating punch into the air. A shockwave erases everything, leaving the woman visibly shaken by his power. Meanwhile, Lin Jingshuan recognizes the mysterious lady on the cameras. Her name is Gongyang Jin, and she is a very dangerous villain. She was supposedly defeated by the authorities just a short while ago. Back on the field, the dynamic duo has wiped out the nest. Han Jan starts absorbing leftover energy to finish her healing process. He summons his mystical cauldron once more, ready for the finale. He tells Gongyang Jin the final medical treatment is officially starting. The woman prepares herself as the glowing healing liquid begins to pour. She winces in pain, feeling the intense magical reaction in her body. It is a brutal process, but it is the only way to save her. A cursed black thorn is still buried deep inside her back. She tells the protagonist to just pull it out and end it. And just like that, we watch the cauldron suck the darkness away. Parts that aren't quite right, so after that, when everything is ready, inserting the right images and syncing the audio together, then we proceed to export the video for publishing. So this is the process that I create a complete video. Therefore, I really hope that the YouTube support team reconsiders their decision. Check if there are any mistakes anywhere to help us return to the program earning money from YouTube. I sincerely thank you.